All right, welcome into Bogen's Bets. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, your host, and we are here coming off could have been a better night last night. We went negative, 9 out of 17 picks. We're 17 and 13 on the year since I started 2 nights ago. So we'll be keeping track of that. Obviously, I got to get better, but I'll be open about the ones that I missed. We'll just go through last night, and then we'll go into the picks today, and then we'll talk a little bit about the new sponsor of the channel, Prize Picks. You can go to promo code DT Rams when you sign up for Prize Picks. Put in DT Rams or use the link in the description. And basically, what that's going to do for you is it's going to get you not only one of the best apps on the market right now, but as soon as you deposit, it's going to match your first deposit of up to $100. So that's a double deposit there. So definitely check that out when you get a chance. But yeah, we'll get into it. And I'm excited to, I'm excited to go over what I missed. I mean, I'll get better. Self-scout, big believer in self-scouting. We'll start off last night. We hit on the Avalanche, -1.5. We hit on the Lightning money line. We hit on the Panthers -1.5. Man, did they have to come back from behind. They ended up winning like 7-5 last night. Pretty crazy against the Sabres. We missed on the Capitals -1.5. We hit on the over of 6 goals. Chicago and Washington. We missed on the Hurricanes -1.5. We hit on the Sharks money line. We missed on the Devils money line. We hit on the Bruins money line. We missed on the Stars -1.5. We missed on the Flames -1.5. We hit on the Bulls -2. As far as NBA, it's a 4 straight we missed. We missed the Bucks -4.5. We missed the Thunder +11.5. They got absolutely eviscerated. History was made. The Grizzlies won by 72 points, which is the most in NBA history. So hate that I missed that. That's a bad beat. Like, that's like not even close to bad. Like, as in it's a close beat and it's bad. It's you got eviscerated. The Suns missed on -12 for the Suns. They, of course, won by 11 and didn't cover. The Trailblazers missed on -4.5. They lost to the Spurs. And they missed. Oh, well, we hit on NFL. So we ended up going undefeated for NFL. One game. Got Cowboys -7. So last night, 8-9. It's a 47% hit rate. I got to do better, and I know that. Total, since we started Bogen's Bets, we are 56.6% hit rate. Trying to keep that above 60, close to 70. We'll see what we can do. But we're going to start off the night with the NHL. So sorry about that, Johnny Sins. I know you're not really a hockey fan, but I will be talking about other sports. Well, I'll be talking about the NBA after. Just getting into these, though. We start off with the Sharks. It's yesterday we had a big hockey slate. We had kind of a smaller, basketball slate. Well, on a Friday, we have a small basketball slate and a pretty big hockey slate tonight. So, starting off, the Sharks +1.5 over the Rangers. The Sharks are winners of 3 straight. I like James Reimer in net. I like the way he's been playing as of late. You have Timo Meier, who is back. He's their best player, and he's back. He's healthy. He's making an impact nearly immediately once he hit the ice. He was. The only concern, the only worry, is that Igor Shesterkin, who's one of the best goalies and honestly might be the best goalie in the NHL right now for the Rangers, he is in net. If it was Georgiev, I would have just no doubter this would be Sharks winning easily. But with Shesterkin, it is a little bit of a concern. I still like the Sharks +1.5 to win. Would have gone with the Sharks money line, though, if Georgiev ended up starting in net. So put it on the record. We got Sharks. We got Sharks +1.5. They just have to not lose by 2. Simply put, not lose by 2. I think that the Rangers win the game, but I like the Sharks to cover. Next up, we have a puck line plus 1.5 again. We're going to go with the Devils yet again. Hopefully they don't screw us over against Winnipeg. Simply put, and this is all, by the way, on mybookie.ag. You can go over, you can use promo code JKDTR, double your first deposit at mybookie. But anyway, these are all odds at mybookie. The Rangers was minus 145, that Sharks one. And then the Devils, this is minus 145. Look, Bernier is in net tonight, not Blackwood. I've been a big Mackenzie Blackwood fan, and unfortunately, he's kind of burned me a little bit. He's certainly not playing up to par, and he's a big reason why that they're in a little bit of a slump. They've lost 7 of the last 10. So things are not going well in Jersey, okay? And they're not going to be... they're not going to immediately turn this thing around without finally winning a game again. And it starts, in my opinion, with Winnipeg. Keep in mind, you win this bet as long as they don't lose by at least 2. So if they keep it, 1 goal game, you can still win this bet against Winnipeg. Again, I like Bernier in net. He's been solid this season. They lost 4 out of their last 5. I like the desperation factor in this game. But they really got to reintegrate Jack Hughes in that lineup. I really do like Jack Hughes. He's coming off an injury. He's played 2 games now, 1 game, 2 games, around that. And, you're hoping at some point he's going to get things going, but he is coming off an injury. And so, it might take him a little bit, but they are trying to get him integrated in. I think once it happens, it's going to go well. However, right now, it's not for the Devils. I do, however, have them plus 1.5 against Winnipeg. I think they do it tonight. I think they get things going with Hughes. I think they get things going. They move that second line that I keep raving about on multiple platforms, whether it be Bratt, whether it be Dawson Mercer, or Andreas Janssen. Either one of those 3, they've been great, but they are moved up to the first line. I think that was the right move there. Winnipeg hasn't looked the same since Patrick Laine got hurt. They're losers of 6 of their last 7 games. So in that case, I'm going to go with the Devils here, plus 1.5 against Winnipeg. Moving on, we have the Golden Knights taking on the Arizona Coyotes, the worst team in the NHL, plus 115 on my bookie. Golden Knights, I have minus 1.5 puck line. I'm going to take that. Laurent Brossoit is in net tonight. He is a solid goaltender. He is not coming off giving 6 goals away and the loss to Robin Lehner, who was extremely upset, extremely pissed off. You could tell, but he is not in net tonight. It is Brossoit, who's been very solid, when they've needed him to. And he's won 3-4 games this season in relief for Lehner. So I do like him against the worst team in the NHL. Arizona has been just downright horrible, and VGK is almost fully healthy. They're really missing Jack Eichel, and they're missing William Carrier. But aside from that, they got back Max Pacioretty, they got back Mark Stone, and they got Jonathan Marchessault back off of COVID IR. So things are going well for Vegas. They lost that game, sure, but, moving forward, they're healthy now. They're going to start to make a push, and they're going to win this one pretty easily. I think they win by obviously more than 2 goals, which is why I have them minus 1.5. That'll give you plus 115 odds on my bookie. I like the Knights coming off a brutal loss, 6-5 against the Ducks. They win by at least 2 goals tonight against Arizona. Moving on, we have the Edmonton Oilers taking on release the Kraken, the Seattle Kraken, okay? I like the Oilers in this one. The Kraken, basically, Philip Grubauer is in net. He hasn't been all that great, and to be honest with you, he mostly all the time gives up around 3 goals a game, and when he gives up 3 goals, he only has 1 win when he's done that. He's going up against a team in Edmonton that has guys that can score on a dime. They'll score at least 3 goals and they'll win this game. Whether it's Draisaitl McDavid, whether it's Zach Hyman, whether it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Kyler Yamamoto, you name it. I mean, they have so many different options, so many different weapons, guys that can score. And so I think the Oilers will win at least by 2 goals in this one. I expect a big night from Leon Draisaitl and company, and Stuart Skinner. While it's not Mikko Koskinen in net, and he has won the majority of games for Edmonton, I do like Stuart Skinner. He's had a couple huge games that have come up big for the Oilers, so I'm going to go with the Oilers in this one. -1.5 Edmonton. And that's a plus 165 betting odds there over on my bookie. So it's the Ducks taking on the Flames to close out this very short slate of the NHL. And that's a plus 105. I'm going to take the Ducks money line over the Flames. Look, I really like that John Gibson is in net, and I really like that Jacob Markstrom is not in net for Calgary. And the reason I like that is because if I'm going, if I'm going to pick the Ducks, which if anybody knows, and I've been writing a lot on the game day, I've been doing weekly NHL articles and betting picks and things like that. I've really rode the coattails of the Anaheim Ducks this season, and they hit a lot. I really like their team. I like how aggressive they are. I think they're both really good teams. I mean, Calgary's great. Johnny Gaudreau is playing some fantastic hockey, as well as Elias Lindholm. But the fact of the matter is this, Dan Vladar is in net tonight, and it's not Jacob Markstrom. If it was Markstrom, that'd be a different story, and I might actually go with the Flames here. But because they're both two tough teams, Anaheim's at home, I like their goalie a lot more. I'm taking the Anaheim Ducks money line over the Flames, plus 105 on my bookie. So that is the NHL slate for tonight. Once again, to recap, in case you missed it, we have the Sharks plus 1.5, the Devils plus 1.5, Golden Knights minus 1.5, the Oilers minus 1.5, and the Ducks money line. Very, very short slate tonight, which I don't have an issue with. There's some good hockey tonight, and there's some really good basketball. This game would have been a lot better, unfortunately, the one that we're going to hit on, and it is the Pacers and Heat. Unfortunately, with this game, the Pacers are 5.5-point favorites, and the reason I say unfortunately is because the Pacers, while they've lost 3 straight, they don't look like the best team, and the Heat, fully healthy, would beat them. The Heat aren't fully healthy. There's not going to be Bam Adebayo, there's not going to be Jimmy Butler, and there's not going to be Markieff Morris. So because of that, there's a lot of guys that are out, and other guys are going to have to step up, and so I like the Pacers here, which even though they've lost 3 straight, Malcolm Brogdon has played well. And of course, Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner, I think, are going to have their way on the glass. Now, don't get me wrong. I told you guys 2 days ago when I started this, I said Dwayne Dedmon was the play in FanDuel. And that may be the case because he's so cheap and it's so easy to pick him up. However, here's the problem. Is that Dwayne Dedmon, he was great 2 nights ago. Now he's got a ridiculously tough matchup, having to go up against guys like Sabonis and Turner that are going to steal away those rebounds. It's just going to happen. Sabonis, I expect to go over his 12 prop rebounds tonight. I expect them to cover this easily. Pacers in a blowout. I have them covering the 5.5-point spread. Moving on, we have the Cavaliers taking on the Heat. The Cavaliers taking on the Wizards. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, they've been playing well as of late. They did lose, Colin Sexton for the season, which is really unfortunate there. But they are winners of, they're 7-4 on the road, taking on the Wizards. And the Wizards, they're pretty good at home. I get that. But they have a bad losing streak, and they haven't been all that great against some not so great teams. So, I'm looking at this. In my opinion, I think the Cavaliers are going to keep this close enough to cover, so I'm going to take the +3 for Cleveland. I think they keep it close. They did it against the Suns and the Nets. I don't think it'll be easy, but, they do have, the way they've adjusted to, having guys like Jared Allen and Darius Garland and, Evan Mobley. I think that they'll be able to win this game, so I do like the Cavaliers in this one, +3. Covering the spread against the Wizards. They might win outright, but it doesn't matter as long as, they keep it that close, then you'll win your bet. Hawks minus 2.5 are favorites over the 76ers. I'll take this all day. Hawks are 8-2 at home this season. 76ers have lost 3 of their last 4. I understand they have Joel Embiid back. Hasn't changed, okay? Joel Embiid's back, sure, but there's something off with this 76ers team. It's just not working right now. And the Hawks have won 8 of the last 9 games. They've been on a tear. Everything's clicking. I'm going to stick with the Hawks. I think it's going to be a solid game out of Clint Capella. I think he's going to be fine on the boards. Of course, you have, John Collins. That's always a threat. But I think this is another one of those potential triple-double games from, in my opinion, I think it's going to be that way from Trae. I think that's Trae Young he thrives in these type of moments, especially at home. And again, 8-2 at home this season. I'll take the Hawks over the 76ers. All right, so we have those out of the way. We're going to take a quick break before we go into the other NBA picks because I want to show you guys, we have, of course, I just said, Prize Picks sponsors this channel. So because of that, I want to take a quick gander at at least one lineup from Prize Picks. So we're going to do that right now here. I'm just going to put that right in here. I'm going to put in my lineup, and we're going to go over it because I really do like this lineup tonight. I do. So I'm going to go with this lineup here. And this is on Prize Picks. For those of you who don't know, let's see what we got here. So we got this line on Prize Picks, and I'm just going to minimize that. Not that I can even see that, but hopefully you can. I'll grab my trusty phone over here. All right, so on Prize Picks, we have Gabe Vincent, who, I'll be honest with you guys, he's been on an absolute tear from 3. We have him over the 1.5 3-pointers per game range. Now, the reason for this is because Gabe Vincent, when I say tear, he just has to get 2 3-pointers made in this game, and you're going to win some money. And how much? That's up to you. But Gabe Vincent, last 4 games, 3 3-pointers, 4, 4, 4. Okay? The only reason it's this low is because on November 23rd, he had 0 against Detroit. That's what makes the prop low. But this is a prop that, I would definitely roll with because this guy is killing it from 3. And especially with everybody out for the Heat, I don't have to worry about a Jimmy Butler playing too much or, somebody like Bam Adebayo playing too much or Markieff Morris. He's going to get his opportunities. I think he hits that. And then looking at Marcus Smart, Marcus Smart hasn't had under 5 assists with Jaylen Brown out of the lineup in, I don't think ever. So, I think that's a big thing there. I like that Marcus Smart 4.5. I think that's, definitely the way to go there. He's had 8 assists the last game, 6, 8, 9, and 5 on November 22nd against Houston. So, he hasn't gone over that, or he hasn't gone under that in 5 opportunities. As you guys know, I mainly go on the over. So I like Marcus Smart over 4.5 assists on that. And I don't have to tell you. I already kind of told you earlier. I love Domantas Sabonis. I like his ability to rebound. He's going up against it's a pretty good matchup. I understand Dedmon's solid. Dedmon is not, Jokic, for instance. This is a good matchup for Sabonis. He had 10 rebounds against Atlanta, so that would have missed, but he had 26 against Minnesota, 10 against Milwaukee. Sure, that would have missed, but he had 18 against Toronto and 12 against the Lakers, which would have pushed. So I do like Sabonis in a very good matchup there to go over 12 rebounds. And then, of course, you have the 15.5 points to go over. So you just need 16. That's Jarrett Allen. If he gets at least 16, you win the Jarrett Allen play. And Jarrett Allen, the last 5 games, has gone way over it. 19, 28, 19, 25, 20. So I feel really good about that pick. on Prize Picks. Again, if you guys haven't already, be sure to join Prize Picks and use promo code DTRAMS, and be sure to use that. You'll get your first deposit matched. So be sure you're using that code. So I do like that. And then to close it out, I'm a big fan of the way Daniel Gafford's been playing, guys. And I'll tell you right now, Washington may not win that game against Cleveland, but Daniel Gafford at 26 over/under fantasy score, I'm going to take the over here. Gafford had 40.5 on December 1st against Minnesota. He had 29.5 against San Antonio Spurs on the 29th. On the 27th, he had 36.5 against Dallas. And on the 26th, he had 45.1 points against the OKC Thunder. The reason this is so low is because he had 15.9 against New Orleans, but he has been a focal point for their team. They are counting on him. He's getting points now. He can rebound. I like Gafford a lot, and so I'm going to go over the 26. That right there, folks, is my Prize Picks lineup of the day. I very much, definitely recommend that lineup. I'm going to put it right over there. Hopefully you guys can see it. I know it's fairly minimized, but hopefully you guys can see it. So, Prize Pick of the night, once again, we have Gabe Vincent going over 1.5 three-pointers. We have Marcus Smart going over 4.5 assists. We have Jarrett Allen going over 15.5 points. We have Domantas Sabonis going over 12 rebounds. And last but not least, we have Daniel Gafford going over 26 fantasy points. Fantasy points, you're talking points. Points go towards that. Rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. Of course, turnovers take away from it, but I definitely feel like he's going to go over that for sure. So those are my picks for Prize Picks. Again, be sure to head on over there, download the app. For those of you that are in here and have never tried it before, highly recommend downloading the app and giving it a shot and using our promo code. Would really appreciate that. So we'll continue, by the way. Every night we're going to have a Prize Picks line of the night, and you can play it. That's the thing I love about Prize Picks is that I'm not sitting here like on FanDuel, for instance. I can do as much as I want to try to make my lineup great, but I'm playing against thousands upon thousands of others, guys that have, 150 lineups logged, guys that are professionals. We're all in this together type deal when you're dealing with Prize Picks. It's us versus the app. And so, I think that's a big thing. Plus, I think the lines are they're easier hit than others, I would say, as far as pick'em goes. Okay. So let's get back to it, guys. I do think looking at our picks so far, I'm feeling pretty good about tonight. Feeling pretty good about the slate. And, that's what I'll say about that. I have the Rockets minus 2.5 over the Magic. The Rockets are 4-5 at home, but Orlando is 3-10 on the road. And like I've said, Jalen Suggs is out for Orlando. You have the Rockets now that potentially might have Kevin Porter back from that injury, and Christian Wood is probable to go. I just feel like they're a different team, and the way Jayshawn Tate played when he needed to with those two guys out to secure that win 2 nights ago was really impressive to me. I just like the way the Rockets are playing right now. Can't stress that enough. So I'm going to go with the Rockets here, winning this game and holding on to a minus 2.5 lead there, as far as that goes. So moving on, we have the Timberwolves and Nets, which I actually missed. The Nets are 7.5-point favorites against the Timberwolves. This game isn't exactly going to be easy, though. Timberwolves can score. They can get things going. The way Karl Anthony Towns is playing, the way Anthony Edwards is playing, they can get things going. D'Angelo Russell, they have a lot of, weapons, so to speak, for this game. They're going up against the Nets. It's in Brooklyn. It's not going to be easy. They're coming off a tough loss against the Wizards. They beat the Pacers and 76ers back-to-back. And before that, their loss against the Hornets, they ripped off a 5-6 game winning streak that included knocking off the Heat. So, I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to go, obviously Timberwolves have been playing well. I'm going to go with Brooklyn here to cover the 7.5. I understand it's a lot, but they're at home. They're somewhat healthy. I mean, they don't have Kyrie, but that's not really health. Well, it kind of is, but you get my point. So I'm going to go with the Nets here, minus 7.5. We'll put that in there. And then moving on, we have the 8:30 game. The Pelicans taking on the Mavericks. I love the Mavericks minus 6.5 so much. I think the Mavericks are going to absolutely destroy the Pelicans tonight, and I think it's going to come from the contributions of that backcourt, whether it's Doncic or it's both he and Jalen Brunson. So I do really like the Mavericks here. Pretty much any night. If you're wondering, the Pelicans are 3-10 on the road. The Mavericks are 6-3 at home. They're 11-9. Pelicans are 6-18. I just, any time you're playing DFS, anytime you're wondering who's going to do well, I tend to lean towards who's ever playing the New Orleans Pelicans. That's typically where I go. They give up a ton of points, so I tend to like that matchup for the Mavericks a lot. The only question is, if you're dealing with Luka, you're trying to go over/under on the points, if you're trying to use him in DFS, always watch out, because in games like this, it's a beautiful matchup for Doncic. However, if they get off to a big enough lead, he's not going to play the entire fourth quarter, and that is always a problem with those type of games, the blowouts and things along that nature. You have to worry if your guy is going to even get, and basically if he's going to even register points. So that's always a problem there. It's always something I'm looking out for, so just watch out for that. But yes, Dallas, I think, is going to cover minus 6.5. And then moving on, we have two more games of the NBA slate, and then we're done. Pretty crazy night. It's almost over, but the Celtics taking on the Jazz. Celtics are 12-10. The Jazz are 14-7. The Celtics are 6-6 on the road. Jazz are 8-4 at home. I have Boston covering on the road. Utah's getting they're 8-point favorites. If I'm getting 8 points for the Celtics, I like that. I really like the way Boston's playing. They're getting somewhat healthy now. I like the way they're playing. They beat the 76ers and Raptors back to back. They had a tough loss against the Nets, but before that they won 3 straight, including the Rockets, Thunder, and Lakers. So, they're not the best team, and I'm not going to say that they are, but they don't have to win this game for you to win your bet. They just have to stay under 8 points, and I think they do that in this game against the Jazz. And then last but not least, the prime time matchup actually falls. There's 2 games. Totally forgot about the Lakers and Clippers. Well, we'll give the Lakers and Clippers first. All right, so the Lakers are 2.5-point favorites against the Clippers. Clippers are 2-4 on the road. Lakers are 8-6 at home. The Lakers are healthy again. LeBron is back after that whole COVID mishap thing. It sounds like he's going to be back. Regardless, I'm not worried about the Lakers, and I've said that over and over again. Russell Westbrook is playing outstanding basketball as of late and not turning the ball over nearly as much as he did to start the season. The Lakers are on a 2-game winning streak after losing in triple overtime to the Kings not long ago. But I am going to take the Lakers over the Clippers here, and they're 2.5-point favorites at home. Technically, it's at home because the Clippers also play at Staples. The Clippers are on a 3-game losing streak, and their last win was against the Pistons, which isn't exactly very impressive. So they just lost to the Kings, they lost to the Pelicans, and they lost to the Warriors. Understand the Warriors, but the Pelicans and Kings, those aren't good losses. The Lakers did beat the Kings, and they beat the Pistons. Not the best of wins, but I'll take them on the winning end of this, and I'll have them covering the minus 2.5. And then finally, the game that took over on ESPN, because initially that game was there. It got flexed out in favor of the Suns and Warriors game. It is the Suns 9-3, 9-1 at home, taking on the 11-1 at home, 18-3 Warriors. This is a matchup that is a rematch not long ago. Don't adjust your eyes. They just played, and the Suns won. Now, the Suns are on a ridiculous streak. I don't know why anybody was picking against them last night, but there were people. They've won 18 straight. Golden State has a 1-game losing streak. The last time Golden State played, they played against the Suns, and they lost by 12. So where's this going to go? How is this going to go down? That is the question. And when I look at this game, Golden State is 7-point favorites. I'll take the Suns to cover easily. That is way too much, in my opinion. These teams are dead even, and the last time they played, the Suns won. I understand it was on the road, but hey, the Suns won. So I'm going to take the Suns to cover the 7-point spread. And I expect a big game out of both stars, Steph Curry and Chris Paul. But I'm going to lean that the Warriors come back, they win this game, but the Suns are going to cover at the -7 here. +7, sorry. The Suns cover +7. I feel pretty confident in that pick. I'm curious to know what you guys think about that. But those are our picks. So a lot going on there. Just kind of going through, last second here with the FanDuel lineup. I have Doncic. I have actual Seth Curry at point guard with Doncic. I have Max Strus here, who's 3,900 on FanDuel for Miami. I have Jordan Poole for Golden State. I do have Kevin Porter Jr. at 6,800. If he plays, he is a game time decision. His game's at 8, so we'll find out. If you play him, be ready for that. Mikal Bridges at 5,900 against Golden State at small forward. I stacked Kevin Porter with, of course, Christian Wood. Big fan of that tandem. Christian Wood's going up against a team that gives up the 29th ranked. They're the 29th ranked team against power forwards in the league for FanDuel. I have Jared Vanderbilt going up against the 21st ranked Brooklyn Nets. So we'll see about that. 5,900. I like the play there. He's also a game time decision. I think he'll go. And Daniel Gafford against Cleveland, 6,000, who is coming off a 40-point FanDuel point game. So I feel good about that. In addition to that, some other prize picks. I have another lineup here that isn't going to go up on the screen, but just to throw it out there, I have a lineup. Marcus Smart, 4.5 assists. We have over 2.5 3-pointers made for Tyler Hero. I think he's going to have a big night tonight. Seth Curry going over 2 3-pointers made. Sabonis going over 12 rebounds. And Jarrett Allen going over 15.5 points. In addition to that, I have another one. Sabonis, 12 rebounds. Trae Young going over 2.5 3-pointers. Donovan Mitchell going over 4.5 assists. And Jarrett Allen going over 15.5 points. So those are my prize picks for tonight. Be sure to sign up if you haven't already. Again, DT Rams, and you double your deposit. Get in the game, get in the action. Also, my bookie. You need a sports book. That's our official sports book. JKDTR. Go sign up for my bookie. Go sign up for prize picks if interested. But that is going to do it. Appreciate you guys hanging out over here, coming over right before lock. Feeling pretty good about tonight's slate. Hopefully we do better than we did last night. We'll find out. That's going to do it for me. You guys take care. This has been the 3rd episode of Bogen's Bets. Take care, guys.